Big tech with full authority over who they choose to censor, who you get to listen to. But was this move by Twitter justified? We know it's going across all kinds of social media outlets right now that this is happening. I'll start with you, Stacy. What did you think about what Mike Lindell had to say? What happened to him?
So first off, I hate it. I've met him many times before because he traveled with the coalition. He would show up at the events and we'd be in the green room together. And he's one of those people where he doesn't have to know you or meet you. You don't have to be famous. He'll just sit and talk with you. He ate with us. He just treated us like we've known each other for years. He's a very nice man. But I've also interviewed him on radio, and he's a true believer. He will plop down $1 million to fund your project if he thinks it will save lives or bring help to people who are in need. He's really very generous. But what's interesting about the timing of his story is that I was just suspended for the first time in my 10 years on Twitter. Oh. I was suspended just less than 24 hours ago for tweeting out a peer-reviewed study on nebulized hydroxychloroquine. So I figured President Trump's no longer in office, so maybe, I can tweet this out. I can post it on Facebook. And I was suspended. And they deleted the tweet, but made me go through the exercise of deleting it myself in order to basically bow down and acquiesce that what I tweeted wasn't true, which it's true. It's doctors who are saying this, not me.
Yeah.
And so I listened to what he's saying about his account and how they were in control of it and using it to tweet while he didn't have control of it. And what it tells me is that we're on a dangerous path. But I have a message for them. You can't cancel 74 million people. I believe that's what he's saying when he says people are buying his products directly from his website. Yeah. I plan to buy sheets from there. That's how we have to treat this. We cannot be canceled. We will not be canceled.
Yeah, Bill, it's just like another example of the small guy versus the big guy, the David and Goliath story all over again.
Heather, I'm glad you said that because this is bigger than Mike Lindell. I mean, he's a big company. I half expected him to announce he was running for governor in that interview he did. The guy has a lot to offer. He's got an incredible personal story of struggle and triumph. But the bottom line is he's going to be okay because he's got a very good product. Right now, you go to mypillow.com. He's offering 30% off on his mattress topper and throwing in 2 pillows. He'll be fine. Who's not going to be fine are the little guys. And I don't think, and I agree with a lot of what Stacy just said, I think the only issue that we have to be very careful of, I do not believe this is about conservative versus liberal. This is about elites versus the rest of us. When you tweet something out about hydroxychloroquine that we now know, documented to have saved lives and will continue to save lives, the reality is that that doesn't take on a political ideology. What that does is it challenges the narrative of groupthink that the elites, both in the Republican Party and in the Democrat Party, have benefited from all this time. You look at these hedge fund guys, back to the story we did before, they did just fine during the lockdown. The guys who don't do just fine, the guy that'll lose his job for supporting President Trump or going to a rally who works in a restaurant or a hardware store. Tom, they're the folks we have to stand up for.
Yeah, I want to get Tom in here because this segment's a little bit shorter. Tom, your thoughts?
Look, my last column at Newsmax talked about the fact that this angst, this unsettling, this discontent exists. And now that big tech is siding with one side, you're going to get even, I wrote the book, The Divided Era, you're going to get even more of this type of division and angst. And that's why we're getting divided more and more. The bigger government gets, the bigger big tech sides with one side is creating ever more division and continues to fuel, in part, what Bill talked about elitists. And you're going to get this division in America, and it's why Trump is going to continue to remain popular, because the little guy loses out most in history, right? Yeah. And this is continuing, and the bigger government gets, really, the more they lose out. That's always been true as well. So if this continues, it's going to lead to even more division in America and another populist candidate on the right, because populism works when government and big tech is attacking people.
Well, it certainly is making social media a lot less exciting. It's a little bit boring when everybody agrees with you. Well, head on over to newsmax.com for the latest news and insight.